Russia about to invade Canada. Russia is about to invade Canada. It is so over for Justin Trudeau. Russia's going to come in through the Arctic. They're going to bomb the Arctic. They're going to get ships going through there. They're going to claim their rightful land in the Arctic. Let's get some Z's going in chat. Can we get some Z's going in chat, please? I want to see the chat filled up with Z's for our glorious leader, Vladimir Putin. It's coming to liberate us. He is coming to liberate us. Just like we've said, he is going to be our liberator. I have an article here. It's titled, this is a very retarded title, by the way. Russia basically threatened to attack the Canadian Air Force. Based? Over the weekend, an official Russian source said that the shipments of military aid flooding into Ukraine from the West are, quote, legitimate targets for the Russian armed forces. We have warned the United States that pumping weapons into Ukraine by a whole range of countries is not just a dangerous path, but are actions that turn these convoys into legitimate targets, Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said Saturday on state television. Also, get sending in your super chats via Power Chat. Use the Power Chat link in the description down below. Send in super chats, help support Canada First, all the things that we're doing. CF Pack 2 is coming up. It's not cheap, so send in your super chats. We'll be heading into our chat time in just a little bit here. It continues on. What this means is that Russia has effectively said it's okay for them to shoot down Canadian military planes. Because among the air bridge of Western nations, scrambling equipment into Ukraine right now are RCAF cargo jets. On Monday night, National Post reporter Brian Passafiume counted no less than 2 Canadian C-130 Hercules in the skies over Northern Europe after a stopover in Ukraine. The 2 aircraft are indeed engaged in what Canada is calling a, quote, tactical airlift to supply Ukraine with 4,500 M72 rocket launchers, up to 7,500 hand grenades, and several plane loads of body armor, ammunition, and food rations. Which, by the way, how can you blame Russia in this scenario? They have cargo planes bringing equipment to kill Russians with, to kill Russian soldiers that are simply going into their land, liberating their fellow man. For almost close to 5,000 rocket launchers these planes are carrying. 7,500 hand grenades that are going to kill innocent Russian liberators. Okay? What do you expect the Russians to do? They have every right to shoot down these cargo planes. Absolutely. Canada and U.S. Also announced an Arctic military exercise amid Russian tensions. And this is kind of where the cool part comes in, you know? This is kind of where the cool part comes in here. Canada and the U.S. have issued a rare public notice over planned military exercises in the Arctic amid growing concern over Russian aggression. The North American Aerospace Defense Command said on Tuesday that it would hold air defense exercises throughout the Canadian Arctic, adding that the drills were meant to test the ability to, quote, respond to both aircraft and cruise missiles threatening the continent. General Wayne Eyre, the Chief of Defense Staff, said it was, quote, not inconceivable that our sovereignty may be challenged from the Arctic region and that Canada needed to closely watch Russian action. Earlier this month, the Inuit-run Nassituk Corporation was announced as the winner of a $592 million contract to operate the North Warning System, a 37-year-old network of dozens of remotely operated radar stations stretching more than 5,000 kilometers along the edge of the Arctic Ocean. The radar system functions as a critical set of eyes on the region's airspace, but needs significant upgrades. We have very little resources to actually look after a beautiful part of our country, he said. Ukrainians are dying for their land. We can barely protect ours. We can barely protect our land, saying these Canadians that are in charge of defending the Arctic. How awesome is that? How cool is that? And, you know, I've been thinking about this for a while. My initial thought was that they might try and take, you know, Alaska. They might try and take Alaska, or like Russian troops might land on Alaska, or, you know, they might send Russian ships like the Alaskan coast, something like that. You know, it's kind of like tit for tat. We have the NATO forces that are trying to move within Ukraine's borders, trying to get Ukraine to join NATO and be right on Russia's borders. Well, it would make sense for Russia to move right up to our borders, quite literally, right? If NATO can move into Ukraine, and if Ukraine can become a NATO satellite state, why can't Russia do the same in this uninhabited land and set up their missiles and set up their military force there, right? It makes perfect sense. But then it's like, well, if they provoke America, the globalists might actually get us into World War III. But if the Russians invade through the Arctic and, you know, not really come down onto Canadian mainland or anything like that, but stay up in what is claimed as Canadian land up in the Arctic and set up bases there and set up a military there, what are we gonna do? What would America do? What would the globalists do? What would Justin Trudeau do if that happened, right? Would that be an act of war? That's like a gray area. That's a gray area because it's uninhabited Arctic. Nobody fucking lives up there, right? It's technically Canadian land. But is that really going to make World War III pop off? I don't think so. I think that if the Russians set up bases on Canadian land, way up north in the Arctic, I don't think that anything would really happen. It would be a power move for Russia, and it would allow them to set up, and like I said, it's a tit for tat. You're going to come to our borders, we're going to go to your borders, right? Using Canada as this satellite state to America, the globalist American empire, right? Which would be awesome. I would welcome that. I would welcome Russian troops. I would welcome the Z tanks patrolling the streets of Toronto, you know? It'd be very cool. So, with that said, there is a little graphic that I wanted to pull up here. We got a graphic. We're going graphic mode. We are going graphic mode here. And I guess I gotta move over this way. One sec, though. Let's go like this. Let's go like that. Look at that. Okay. So this was included in the article here, right? He pointed out a gap of 2,800 kilometers. They're talking about the Canadian general. Between Inuvik and Iqaluit. I can't pronounce these Inuit names, okay? The two forward operating locations for Canada's F-18 planes, leaving vast swaths of land and sea exposed and difficult to patrol. And if you take a look here, I know that you guys really won't be able to see me point, will you? That kind of sucks. But if you look in between these three main areas of the Canadian Arctic, what is stopping them? What is stopping the Russians? What is stopping them from just posting up there? Nothing. There's nothing stopping them. We have our Arctic defense guys saying that, yeah, we don't have the capacity to deal with this if it happens. We have 37 year-old technology up there that does fuck all. And quite honestly, this would be the coolest scenario. This would be the perfect clapback for Russia. So, Vladimir Putin, if you're watching this, now's your chance. Now's your chance. And I know that many right-wingers would welcome Vladimir Putin's liberating forces coming through the Arctic, right? And I'm not saying, I'm not sitting here saying that this is going to happen for sure, or that, there's really any big chance of this happening. But there is a chance. There's always a chance. Anything can happen. And it would be so cool. It would be awesome to see something like this go down. And once again, just like the trucker convoy, place Canadian dissidents at the top of the world stage, right? There's lots of empty land. I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. There's lots of empty land, and it would not be the worst thing. I want to get rid of the globalist empire. I want to see real nationalists help the Canadian dissidents and help the American dissidents take back control over their own countries. I want to see, I don't want this Russia-Ukraine thing to be as gay as it has been lately. Everybody has their yellow and their blue pins on. Everybody's complaining about Putin. I want to see something cool happen. I don't want World War III, obviously, okay? But I want Russia to take over Ukraine, and I want them to continue to dominate. I want them to dominate the globalists. Just like what happened in Afghanistan, Iraq, with Iran the other day, right? Whenever the globalist American empire, whenever these evil people that are in charge of the Western world right now, whenever there's an opportunity for them to get dealt a serious blow, I advocate for that. These people are our enemies. Vladimir Putin is not our enemy. Vladimir Putin would come here, and it's not like he's going to turn Canada Russian, right? But that influence could be a spark. That influence could be a spark, right? So that's what I'm kind of talking about here. But I'm kind of running out of time. I want to see what you guys are saying. So we're going to hop into the chat.